Have you ever asked yourself, is a soulmate real? And if so, is there one out there for me?
In today's conversation, we'll provide some tips on debunking the soulmate theory as well as a key strategy regarding identifying your soulmate coming up.
Hi, I'm Joseph Williams.
And I'm Ebony Williams.
And welcome to Purpose Awaits, where it's our purpose
and our passion,
providing you with tips and strategies for the life and the relationships you'll love.
Here at Purpose Awaits, we cover personal development as well as relationship content. So, if you're new here, consider subscribing, and by clicking on the bell, you will be instantly notified when new content is available. Now, let's dive into today's conversation.
Many people often wonder, is there just one person for me? We know that we've, in our situation before we met each other, sometimes you can get discouraged and wonder, is there just one person for me? You can see other people that are happy and they've been married, for 10, 20 plus years, but you ask yourself, is there just one person for me?
And the answer is yes, absolutely. There is someone out there for you that is tailored designed just for you.
Just take our marriage for an example.
Yeah.
We've been blessed to be happily married for 7 years now, and we have really, really great chemistry.
Yes.
As you can probably see from some of these videos, if you've been watching them, you should be watching these videos. That literally, a lot of times we can complete
each other's sentences.
Just like that.
Yeah.
That wasn't even planned.
But it's something that is just naturally occurring for us. I think, we're, especially as time has gone on, we were already really connected.
Right.
But as time went on, we just became more connected.
Right. We really mesh well together. And, obviously it still comes through us putting in time and work to cultivate and foster a greater marriage. Integrity is another key component in our marriage.
Yes, it's a really big one. So one of the two ideas that kind of go hand in hand for us are intentionality with the integrity.
Yes.
And when we say intentionality, we mean literally what it sounds like,
right,
which is making sure that you're making room and space in your relationship for your significant other.
Really being methodical and meticulous about how we conduct ourselves in our relationship, because it's we deem it high value.
Yes.
Ultimately, all these different components tie into the master component, if you will, which is values, which will also link up a video that we did, Date with Purpose.
So regarding the values, the reason why so much hinges upon it is literally, like Joseph stated, everything else flows from your values. So like we stated in Dating with Purpose, if you know your own values, so if you have your own goals in mind, once you have those squared away, you can then build with someone else.
Right.
And it becomes easier to build.
Values is for us, and in the relationship that we feel in general, is literally the blueprint. It's the foundation. It's the substratum by which everything else creates itself.
Yes.
Right? Our relationship would be nothing without a foundation.
Yes.
Right? And the deeper the foundation, the stronger the structure.
Yes. One thing that can actually stifle your ability to believe that there is even a soulmate for you is dealing with issues of worthiness.
Yes.
And these issues of worthiness are based upon your past, so your past experiences. So it could be, being a man or a woman who has children, prior to marriage. It can be overall maybe being in some type of an abusive relationship.
Right.
And abuse isn't just physical, it's also mental. So, being verbally abused and that taking a hit on your self-esteem.
And I think it also may be important for us to look at the construct of your family history.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be a situation where your mom and dad, they got a divorce and their parents got a divorce.
Right.
So you can say, how could I possibly, have a soulmate and be married and be happy? Because I have a long history lineage of family members that were never married.
Exactly. I know for us, like in our marriage, we can relate to that sentiment from the standpoint of we wanted something different.
Right.
We both come from families where we've seen some things and we just wanted our lives to be
right.
better, like
right.
Just more holistic overall.
Right.
And we could have looked at it like, oh well, that's just life, like this is just something that we have to live with. But we really both came to the table saying, no, maybe that's their life, but that doesn't have to be our life. We can have different. We can have better.
Let's dive deeper, even with self-worthiness, and let's kind of put a different perception on it. Even let's say a situation where it's a person that aesthetically regarding their facial features, or maybe they're overweight, and allowing that negative self-talk and negative self-doubt to stop them from even seeing what's really in front of them.
For me personally, this is definitely something that I really struggle with. It's something I really struggle with, and for a long time I really didn't believe someone could just love me for me, like
that would be me,
as I was, until my husband came along and completely he wrote the script.
I saw it in her the whole time. Honestly, I've never saw her any differently. It may sound cheesy, but I love her for her. She's 80, how many pounds?
Almost 80 pounds.
Almost 80 pounds lighter than she's ever been. But honestly, I love her the same. But you have to see that as well for yourself. Maybe you're not comfortable with your weight, or maybe physical feature that you're unpleased with, to say the least.
Right.
Your soulmate, they will love you in spite of, and just like an onion, peeling back the layers.
Yes.
Because I've stuck and stayed with her, and she stuck and stayed with me.
Yeah.
We're two totally different people than we were when we first got married.
We really are.
But because we're soulmates, we were able to extrapolate those things out of each other.
Yes, and which kind of goes to another really valid point, which is never think for one moment that something is wrong with you. Like, never think that you're dealing with something too big or too small, and we'll talk about that one day as well. But never think that you're dealing with something too big or too small that someone else won't love you as you. Like, you're so worthy.
So if you're accustomed to watching these videos, it's that magic moment. It's the key strategy time moment. And the first key strategy of 2 parts. The first part is values.
Yes.
That's why we talked at length at the beginning of this video about values, because it's the blueprint, and it's the substratum of any and every relationship.
Yes. So you have to determine who you are, what you stand for, and stand firmly upon those things. The second part of identifying your soulmate would have to be following your instincts.
People identify as gut feeling, still small voice. People have different iterations of that. So whatever you want to call it is fine. Right. But just adhere to it and follow that leading. We did that.
Yes.
We had a conversation before we started dating for 5 hours.
Yes.
If you know our story, it's a video, our life story. No, our relationship story.
Yeah.
That we'll link up. And we talked for 5 hours, and I knew, for me, instinctually, this was the one.
Immediately. Now, for me, the day before, so we ended up having that conversation on a Sunday, and that Saturday we were at an event. But the very long story short is, I knew that he was going to ask me for my number. So the next day, He did. And the key part for me is that at the time, it was something that I wasn't willing to do. But instinctually,
yes,
I knew he was it.
So, to sum up today's conversation, yes, I know, I'm sorry, it's coming to a close. But to sum up today's conversation, remember the 2 key strategies. The first one being values, the infrastructure, the substratum to your relationship, your dreams, your goals. Does that person align with your dreams and your goals?
Yes, and the second is your instincts. What are they saying? They're always speaking, and make sure that you're paying attention.
Remember, your purpose in life is to contribute your gift to the world and to leave an indelible mark on the planet.
Yes, the world is literally waiting for you to show up on your truth and walk in your power as only you can.
You're not waiting on it.
It's waiting for you.
Step into your destiny.
Your purpose awaits.
Here at Purpose Awaits, we wish to create a dialogue and not to have a monologue.
Regarding today's topic, what tips and strategies are you going to implement into your life?
Did you find value in the strategies that we provided today?
In order to achieve true change in your life, what is at least one action item you can implement today?
And lastly, what topics and questions do you have that we can answer to be of better service?
Yeah, go ahead, comment below and we'll look forward to hearing from you.